Hello, I'm Garner Mayor Ronnie Williams. We're here again with another episode of the show that we call Great People in Garner. I am very honored today to be sitting with Mrs. Anna Hudson. Ms. Hudson, well, thank you for being here and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We'll get right to the question. Tell us about your earliest recollections of Garner.
Oh, the first time I came to Garner was looking for shrubbery. I knew nobody at Garner, and I learned to know Mr. and Mrs. Umstead, and from there, things opened up. My husband and I wanted a hardware store, and we've been looking for a hardware store, and we found just what we wanted on Benson Highway. And we purchased it, and we opened it. And
That was in 1958, is that right?
1958,
Right here.
October the 8th, 1958. We opened the store. We had two sons, 6 and 9, and we moved them, of course, to Garner for school, and we were pleased with the school. And soon we joined the Garner United Methodist Church, and all of this was to try to get to know the people and to get them acquainted with us because we opened up a hardware store. We soon moved to Garner, and we had a good time learning the people. We found mighty nice people, and we found that they were a little bit on the clannish side.
What a surprise.
Just a little bit on the clannish side. But nevertheless, I knew not to say anything about anybody that wasn't nice. And that in that sense, we started slow and tried to build up slow in order to find out what we needed to purchase to sell. And I don't know, Garner just sort of grew on us. It was small, and we just had one school, and but it was just a nice place to come to live.
You've seen Garner change greatly. Talk about how it's changed for the better, and maybe not so good for the better.
Well, it was just a little village, nothing more than a little village. A couple of 3 churches and a school. The high school. It was just Garner School at that time, and then from there we look at all the schools that we've got now and all the churches that we've got now, and it's just been a grand place to live. During the time that we had first gone in the store, the people, elderly people, began to talk to us about wanting a senior center. And of course, we were new people in Garner, and we didn't have a whole lot of stuff to say about what was going to be put in Garner, but we knew that Garner was going to begin to grow at some time because things were filling out west and north. So anyway, we began to hear it, and finally the Chamber of Commerce was organized. And I became active in the Chamber of Commerce.
And you were still hearing the need for a senior center all along.
Mm-hmm.
You were still hearing the need for a senior center.
The need for a senior center. And it was just a constant thing. People coming in the store and says, can't you help us get something? Because it's so badly needed. So, when I got in the Chamber of Commerce, I was just real lucky to meet one of our legislators, Ms. Betty Weiser. And Ms. Weiser had just gone in office, and she was interested in the elderly people. And so she came to Garner to see if there was anything in town hall that would help to get a senior center. And we found $11,000. So they came back to R.W. Moore was coming in as president at the time of the chamber, and he got interested in it, and we talked it for about 12 or 13 months, and I saw there was some interest, and so I told them. They appointed me as chairman of development on the chamber board, and told me to see what I could do with it. I will always give my husband credit for the senior center. My husband and I were close. And I didn't do or say yes to things that we did not talk about first. So when I went home that night, I threw my hat in and I told him what I had agreed to do. And I said, it's going to be quite a job, but I think that it's good for somebody to do it, and it looks like somebody in the chamber is going to have to do it. And so he said, let me think about it. So the next morning he said, it will answer a lot of questions from the people that come in the store and want the center so badly. And he said, I'll help you with it in any way I can and run the store. Because he knew it was going to take some time.
But it was going to free you up to raise money and all that stuff.
Yeah.
He agreed to do.
And so I went back to the chamber and told them what had happened, and they gave me all the support that they had at that time. And we got busy, and we put up a big sign in my yard, which is over on the...
It was a thermometer, wasn't it?
I put with a thermometer on it. And put $200,000. So we were going to start with $200,000. And it just caused so much excitement, and money began to come in. And it's like they had a wreck or two out there, because when they saw me coming out with my brush and my paint, they wanted to know how many $100 I had raised. And but the policeman said that they just didn't have any money at the time to put a policeman out there, that I was going to have to do it in the dark, so people wouldn't see what I was doing. So anyway, it didn't take long. The town, in the meantime, gave us a plot of land down here. If we could raise the money, the town wasn't going to have anything to do with it. It was out of our hands. It was merely in the chamber's hands. And so they would give us right down here.
Yeah, 2 lots.
2 lots, and then we got 3 lots. But anyhow, they give us 3 years to raise the money. When we hadn't done anything in 3 years, it was over. They weren't going to just forget it. Well, in the 3 years, we moved 3 houses off these lots down here. Our group of people, we got committees set up in the community, and everybody. We first started with a little group, the Golden Age group, that had about 45, 50 people, and before we got through with the 3 years, we had moved 3 houses. We had raised $360,000 in cash money and $160,000 in-kind services. So we laid some bricks.
Tell us about the bake sales and the candy and the raffle.
We did everything from sell old
They
cars,
sold anything that would sell.
old cars. We didn't have any social things outside that we could raise money that we did not have. We're not there ready to do it. You can help me with that.
Well, as I recall, the Toot and Tell It people sort of
Oh, yes.
donated their space. And,
They've just joined right in. Ms. Sparkman was on the town board, and she was very much for it. And so they got the first big sale that we had. We had a big barbecue chicken dinner out here and raised $17,000 one Sunday. And that just set us on fire that if we could do it, you know. And from then on, anything that we could do, we go door to door once in a while. We get and say, but I'm a person of faith, and I prayed over this thing good before I told him I'd take it. And I felt the Almighty say, Anna, go with it. We need it. And if I was short $100 by the time I drove up in this yard, I'd have that $100. I never worried about where the money was coming from, and it was just a wonderful project.
and she never took no for an answer.
I never took no for an answer.
It opened in 1990. Is that the right year?
1990.
We had a ceremony out in the park.
Yeah. And we had 1,300 people here that day.
Well, let's follow up on that. What do you think it's done? What can we show other communities? What message did it send about the community coming together when we want something? I mean, virtually everybody got involved.
Nothing that I have seen in the time I've been out here from 1958 to until today, I have never seen anything bring the togetherness in a small place that did. People got to know each other, and they got to the place that they got interested in how fast the money was coming in, and we had just so much money to come from places that we had no idea. The places in Raleigh, I'll never forget.
And Betty Weiser got some from the legislature.
That's what she got, the $11,000 that we got from the legislature. And then I got money from the other legislators. I told them I was pretty well known down here, and it would pay them to respond.
Almost a threat.
Yeah, just about a threat. But that's the way it was done. And nobody, when we got that picture that it's out there now, Mr. Moore got that fixed for us so that people would know what we were doing. Well, anyway, we raised the 200,000 just in no time. And then we went another 100,000 so we could put shelter out on the side and the pavement.
What do you think the community has learned from this effort? And virtually everybody participated in some type of fundraising. What does it say about community spirit in the town of Garner? Everybody wants to be a part, don't they?
Yeah.
If it's a good cause.
Yeah. And of course, it was, as like I'm saying, we were not the size then that we are now, and people didn't know each other. It brought them together to learn to work together, and we just I just can't explain what I feel like that has done to, and of course at that time we had so many elderly people moving in here to be close to their parents, elderly people to be close to their children, excuse me. And building was picking up. Schools were running over. Churches were building outside recreational stuff.
It was a time of change in
It was
Garner.
a whole change in the
And it was changed for the better, don't you?
in the feeling of the people. And since then it has just grown and grown and grown. But I feel like the center really opened things up.
And brought people together.
Brought them together. I sure do.
But in hindsight, you'd do it over again, would you?
Yes, sir.
But and there were a few bumps in the road. I don't
We
know.
always have bumps in the road. But in the meantime, when we've talked about the three, in that 3 years, we raised the money, we moved the houses, and we had the dedication in the 3 years, except for 1 week, and it rained, and we couldn't have it then.
So you could probably make a statement, if it was scientific, it may be proven, but this center has helped a lot of people live a little while longer. Is that a fair? That's the first
yes.
statement.
Oh, yes, And as it was beginning to grow, people were finding out the little things, and then the title we got that Garner was the best place to live or something. What was it?
Well, in those days, it was the sharpest corner of the triangle or something.
It had a title, and that was bringing more people, and we were getting a little bigger on the map, and things were just beginning to. I don't say the center did it all, but center helped because the older people realized that they were going to have somewhere to go, and some recreation and some good times that they wouldn't have if we didn't have a center.
Okay, let's talk to us about Lee and Howard.
We have 2 sons, Lee and Howard Hudson. Howard is a graduate of Methodist College, and he has just recently retired. He is a professional golfer.
Does well.
Right now, he got a good job with Raytheon, and he's traveling and happy. Lee was a graduate of Carolina, and he was interested in hardware. He never wanted to do anything but go in business in the hardware store. We has been there since 1979. He came in 1979, and he has been with us, and he has loved it, and the stores have grown. We have 2 stores now, big stores, and they are doing good. And I got the name a long time ago. People wanted garden seed, and nobody knew anything about garden seed, so 54 years ago, when we opened the business down here, they had signs on the front of that store that said garden seed and molasses and you name it, and the different things that folks don't have a whole lot of now. But when I went in the store to see what was there, when the gentleman died that was running it, I thought, well, they couldn't have done much with seed because they had 1 gallon jar that was half full of turnip seed, and they had another little jar that had some other kind of little seed in it. And I thought, that's strange. But anyhow, I didn't say anything. I left the sign in there, and we began to get calls about garden seed because there was nowhere down here to get them. And Sam said, that was my husband. He said, I don't know anything about garden seed. I said, but I do. I came off the farm. My folks gardened. He was a big tobacco farmer down the east. And I said, I do know about gardening. Mm-hmm. So I started adding just a few at the time, butter beans and string beans and potatoes and onions a little bit. And I got the name of the seed lady, which was fine. I didn't mind at all. I enjoyed what I did, and I have worked the 55 years that we celebrated last Saturday in the store. Mm-hmm. But I finally just decided I had enough, so I retired.
That was good. Good for you, I guess. The importance of a locally owned business, is it still A plus for a community our size.
Yes, and I just
Talk
hope,
about that a little bit.
I just hope our government will realize how important little stores are, because they are open at night sometimes that you can run by to get a loaf of bread. Or they carry the stuff that little stores deal with the things that they need in their own community. Follow me?
And in 2013, people still come to the store to see you when they start their garden. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
What they did? You're not going to do it anymore.
I retired 2 months ago. I can't. My health gave way. I have a heart condition.
Well, you've told this story in my presence and out of my presence about I would go to the store and you put candy in my pocket. Do you remember that story?
I have so many. School, you know, we just used to have the school, the old school. And so many, we were here when the houses began to pop up. And so many of those children came by my store every morning and every afternoon to get them a Pepsi-Cola or a Baby Ruth or whatever. And then I had the little children that were coming in with their parents. Like Mr. Johnson over there across the street, they had a little child about every 3 or 4 years, and they put that child in that box, that baby in that box, and bring him and put him down there where I could watch him while they shopped. And then I had the little ones that I could put bubble gum in their mouths so that the mother said it.
Yeah, I remember that.
But those little children all come back to see me now. And while I was at the store, they're scattered all over the world. And I'll get a call at home, or I'll get a call at the store saying, "Are you still there?" Or they'll call the clerks and says, "Miss Anna's still living." I want to speak to her. Miss Anna, you all right? I said, yes. And then he'd say, "Well, I need 2 pounds of butter beans, a pound of turnip seed, or an ounce of something else. Would you send that to me? I can't get any good seed where I am." I say, yeah. I'll put him in the mail. But that's the closeness
Of the town
of the town
and the people.
and the people.